Good evening, classmates. Here we are for our week 1 discussion. And for my Common Core standard, I am looking at K.MD. So that is the kindergarten math, measurement, and data. So what I was thinking, based on that chosen standard, I think that it would be best to start the lesson by giving each of my students like just a small amount of clay or Play-Doh and asking them to mold that into a cup or a bowl that would be big enough to hold like milk for a little kitten. So then after they did that, I would utilize elbow partners, and I would ask them to turn to somebody next to them, they're at their elbow, and compare what they did. So see how the sizes are different, and maybe that could help start the discussion of what would hold more and what would hold less, because the lesson that I would want to be working with them would be about capacity. So I could explain to them what capacity is, and dive deeper into it with them when I have them all separated into their long-term ability groups. So I think with long-term ability groups, that is in particular very helpful with math lessons. So I could have my high learners, my grade level learners, and my lower learners, which I would be able to place them into their various groups based on assessments and data from the beginning of the school year. If there were any kiddos that attended TK, I would be able to talk to teachers. Otherwise, a lot of kindergartners coming from preschool, I might not have as much data, so I could just use beginning of the year assessments to really see where I need to place them. And once I have each of my kiddos into their long-term ability groups, as I'm pulling those groups, what I would like to do is take tools such as teaspoons, tablespoons, a variety of bowls and cups, and then I would just have like uncooked rice, and I would let them each at their little station working with me take a teaspoon and just fill up their, say it's 1 cup of rice, and then tell them what it means once that cup or that container no longer can hold any more rice. Once it's spilling over, I can explain to them that that's what capacity is. Capacity is the amount of something that a container can hold. So I think what would be best would be to build off of what they learned about capacity with their little bowls or cups that they made to put milk into, and really utilize that constructivism theory to take what they initially learned as a whole class and then build upon that in our small groups, our long-term ability groups, that place them amongst peers who are at the same level that they're at. So I just think that that would be really beneficial for them, because what we could do is take that same cup that we filled up with rice, and I could give them a smaller container, and I could ask them, do you think that this will have a larger capacity or a smaller capacity? And let them each take their cups and start to fill up or pour into a smaller container. And as that is overflowing, then that will help them understand that there's differences in capacity based on the size of a container. I think I could also do this by giving them cotton balls, marbles. There's a variety of little hands-on tools that we could use that I think would make it fun, but also really help them understand that concept of capacity. And I think that a connection that I've had to this is that when I've been in a lot of classrooms, a lot of teachers do utilize this long-term ability grouping, which allows them to have a more hands-on, one-on-one small group approach with students who are aligned with one another in their academic levels and needs. And it lets them focus on being able to really just explain things maybe at a easier level for those groups to understand. But then on the flip side of that, it also allows them to challenge their higher learning groups. So that's it. Thanks, guys.